All right, how are we doing reflections? And as you can see today, we are discussing a well-known figure who thought he was or she was going to hide from, her gematria coding. And as you can see for today's video, we are basically talking about Druski. And this video is it's disturbing because of how comedy can be masked with just so many narratives. And if you're not paying attention to why the system is throwing out these different entertainers, these different comedians, if you're not realizing why they're doing it and why it's so time, then you're not going to be able to focus on your purpose. So I just did my research too on his page or her page. She just posted one of her could have been re love, whatever, like 2 days ago. And then it was 9 days ago, so on and so forth. It's calculated. And it's calculated because when serious events are happening to where the media or even people in real life, whenever they start questioning what the algorithm is feeding them, they have two choices. Either you go into the rabbit hole and you start learning about what the system is throwing at you and why you're accepting of it, why you're bringing it into your life, why you're attracting it, or you can indulge in your distractions, you can consume all the content that these comedians make for you because it helps you get away from reality, it helps you get away from responsibility. You have to be responsible for your choices, your decisions, and your behavior or your instincts in general. And if you cannot control yourselves into telling you about what you got to do to fulfilling your purpose, then you'll lose your purpose and you'll do away with it by indulging in the things or placing yourself into content that ties into like the Real Housewives type of, I would say, television screening. Because if you have a parent or guardian or whatever, many guardians will watch the Real Housewives of Los Angeles, Miami, Atlanta, whatever, Bad Girls Club, you got Baddies, you got all these different shows that and this is really crazy that these shows, they not only are endorsing LGBTQ communities, they're not only endorsing violence and ignorance, but satanic ritual abuse. Because as you can see in this screen and all that, could be rare that you have a biological man and woman, but you got to understand too, when you're in Freemasonry, let me make sure. So yeah, when you're in Freemasonry, there is no,
We talk on the phone.
Whoa, wait a minute.
so yeah, when you're in Freemasonry, there is no such thing as like letting a biological man or woman be in this vicinity because this is all for performance or performative acts. These people, so Freemason, like all of them are working together. All this shit is a stage. They're all acting like they are the people that the internet portrays them to be. But when you take the internet away from these people, they're average everyday people, just like this person, that person, this person. These people just had an opportunity from an opportunist. This parasite, this leech is taking advantage and mm, yeah, they're taking advantage of circumstances and situations and people just to bring themselves up. And the thing is too, look at all the symbolism, black and white, red and white, black and white, red and white. I mean, you just have, and then you add some trees to make it seem as if, and then you're promoting alcohol or beer or whatever. So it's like by you promoting this, you want people to annihilate themselves, kill their subconscious mind. Because with the Palm Beach Pete situation, for example, it's no different when all these beings are just coming out of nowhere. Oh, wait, hold on. Because all these beings, as they keep coming out the blue, out the woodworks, you got to ask yourself why that is. Did I not screenshot that shit? I thought I did. Yeah, I guess I didn't. So, because it was a Druski screenshot I seen, but it's all good. But yeah, when it comes to Palm Beach Pete and all that, really ask yourself, why is this look-alike? as far as Epstein, why is this being coming out? And even with Drewski's, where is it? The all-white party and shit like that. So situations like this, you got to ask yourself, how long has this being been in position? Pause. How long has this been placed into your eyes? Because there have been some people who have been watching Druski since he or she was in high school. Not only just that, Druski stayed near my place that I would live at, or my house, if you want to call it that. So by him going to a high school called South Gwinnett, if you're familiar with South Gwinnett, because that's Gwinnett County, the outskirts of Atlanta, Metro Atlanta. But Drewski's high school was like 15 minutes away from me. And if you know about South Gwinnett, Lou Will played at South Gwinnett when he was in high school. Well, she was in high school. And Lou Will was cold and obviously went to the league and whatnot. But Drewski going there, it's just like there were so many people I knew that went there that may not be important to you, but to the world, they're noticeable. And by her doing that, she's been at South Gwinnett. She's been doing this shit in high school. The thing is, I was at Central Gwinnett. So we had Central, South, and North Gwinnett, if you understand the Metro Atlanta aspect. So we're talking about like the Atlantean coordinates. So in our area, in our suburbs, it's either two options. You have a choice to graduate high school, work a 9 to 5 job, and that job becomes your whole life. That becomes your career. And then you settle down at a different house that's not too far from your old high school. Your family's local. You got all the shops, the mom and pop shops, grocery stores. You got the malls, all that stuff that you used to go to in your childhood, that now becomes connected to your adulthood. Or you have an option to make something of yourself, like being famous, being known, moving out and making something of yourself to where you're not always going back to Gwinnett. You're not always going back to Georgia. You're not always going back to home per se, because nothing changes. It's like people are still selling out. People are still getting rid of their morals just to get an opportunity to be a comedian, to be a ball player, to be a pastor, to be whatever, entertainer, influencer. So you really have no other option. So that's why, like, seeing these beings, seeing people who come from my area, my suburban area or way of living, and seeing them become famous and shit like that, it's just like I'm not surprised because there are many of us outside or within Atlanta that have that frequency to allow the media to show our works, but there are many people who are working for the other side. And you can call it the dark side as well, but that's why they bring false light. That's why they're wearing all white for what? And white to these beings symbolizes enlightenment, and yet and still they're blind by it. Why are you wearing what you're blind by? And of course, many people are blind to Luciferianism because they're getting paid, they're getting followers. They have people are willingly sitting in the stands in the crowd watching a bunch of people they don't even know. What do what have all of these people done for society besides working it? All of these people are opportunists as well, and you can't sit up here and say this shit's not entertaining because truth be told, it low key is. So if I'm researching rabbit holes, if I am studying, if I am worrying about what the system is doing and these hidden power structures, how they're treating our people, once I get done doing that, what am I going to want to wind down with? I'm going to want to wind down with some entertainment, some foolishness. And it just so happens that we share the same skin complexion. So now this stigma or this narrative, the stereotype is, oh, well, of course, black people will want to watch black people fight because they're animalistic in their nature, they're chaotic, they're destructive. It's just like that's not true. Because a lot of us don't watch this bullshit. We really just watch because, for one, it's entertaining to see what people will do for money. It's like a social experiment. That's all this really is. And like you have the thing of symbolism. Why do you have this golden chair right here? Why are you sitting on a throne? Why are you making yourself the CEO? Why are you making yourself be put into this higher position above all? Like you're an overseer of what's really going on, but you are too cowardly or you're too coward to tell people and you're practicing your cowardly ways. But you're too scary to tell people what you're really doing because that ruins the whole operation. So to get you away from your life, you now watch other people fight for theirs, but they're getting paid to do it and they're getting attention. Does that make you mad? So therefore, with this video, we can't hate, we can't throw negativity, we can't sit up here and bash anybody for what they do because work is work. But when it comes down to the occult, I'm not going to sit up here and let a bunch of inverted beings manipulate my people into thinking as if this shit is okay. If we know that collectively, objectively, through a truth that we're all enslaved by higher corporations and funded branches within the government, we all understand this shit. And yet we're getting on shows, we're getting on influencers' platforms to fight for more money. We're fighting for more scraps. We're fighting to be more and more in poverty. Because you can give somebody this money, but will they know how to financially discipline themselves into multiplying it or into making more of it in their sleep or to doing something with their career? From a year ago today, do you know what any of these people are doing? And many of them are still just chasing clout. Many of them are still maintaining their virality, but your opportunity came from being put on a pedestal by somebody who got their back broken and was sacrificing many different other people to getting into where many people will never be able to stand or withstand. And there's no point of us watching this shit because all we gonna really do is just watch a bunch of drama. It's all this shit is just drama filled bullshit. And nobody needs to be watching that because who wants to watch a bunch of people putting their hands on each other? It's like,
TMS.
how we gonna be in unison if we're fighting over the things that don't matter? We're fighting over money. We're fighting over what he did, what she did. We're fighting over social media validation. We're fighting over scripts, basically. And so when people are fully engaged, it's just like going to a real live TV show or like, Oprah or Ellen. So when you go to those types of shows, or even in Martin, when you're going on stage and you look into the crowd, you got people cheering. Then you got these people who are the hosts. That's all this shit is. So now by you being in the background of simulation, you're looking at the spell. The spell is at work. So what can you do about these works? Get away from it. Same thing with this. So as you can see, nothing but inverted beings. So they're promoting it, letting you know like, hey, all these men aren't so different. They're not different from you. This woman is not so different from you. Only difference is they're making fun of you on what you think is entertaining. They're making fun of you and distracting you by letting you think as if this shit matters at the moment, making you think that this is really funny, embarrassing people, showing how dirty you are, not cleaning your room, and punching on people and bullying people and starting fights and just being violent for what reason? What is being violent? Harming other people for no reason who aren't doing shit. What is being envious of someone's body? The way somebody gets looked at, the way somebody gets opportunities from the CEO and whatnot. What does that do to you when you're in the act and when you're outside of it? And if you're outside of it watching this shit continuously, religiously, you're going to make that your whole personality. That's why there are many people and even kids, many kids who think this shit is appropriate. So they don't even gotta watch the things on TV. They got YouTube now. So you can't even escape the bitch on the fucking television screen because they can screen your vision on this platform. But now on the computer, oh, it's sick. Oh, they're sickened. So if they can re-alchemize that, make it different, but still the same type of rhythm or cadence to a show, what are you watching yourself? Watching yourself show your ego what you think is normal. That's why there are many people who are really intelligent, but they're bullies. Where they get that from? There are many people who can understand quickly that, oh, this person is weak. They're not that strong. I can pick on them, this and that. Why are you doing that? Now I'm going to consider your works to be evil because you know what you're doing. You're looking for an opportunity. But then when you call them out on it, now they want to get small. They shrivel up. So if you're not intellectually strong, these types of idiots will make you feel less than. But wait a minute, y'all are not greater than any of us because you're still fighting for delusions. People are only getting on these types of shows because of what it can do for them and the opportunities that they will get or the brands that they'll have or the endorsements, whatever. But take all that away. What are you doing it for? If social media said we're going to stop giving people likes, engagement, comments, shares, all of that, we're just going to have just you posting and that's it. Would you still do it? Would people still get on these things and just do this shit knowing that there won't be any likes or any comments? You can get the view, but it's like still that wouldn't even make fucking sense anyways. That's why the Social Dilemma, that movie on Netflix or whatever, but watching that, these people are programmed. They're programmed to think as if these two people have control of what they can earn as far as dollars, 50K, 100K, 70K, 15K at least. There are many people who will sell their morals. They will sacrifice their family members and their friends just for 5K, just for 10K, 15K, 50K. You're telling me for a price you can be bought, you can be told what to do. That's why they gave you a job. That's why they gave you a mortgage, taxes, bills, insurance, credit. They gave you all this stupid shit because they knew your future knew that you were going to lie within it. You're going to make this your God. And we don't got to watch this shit either because I'm just giving you the game on what Masons do. These types of people, like this opportunist right here, this parasite, will only do this shit for what? To humiliate them. But wait a minute. When this being, when she was on Instagram, when she would do the could have been lives and whatnot, people were auditioning, and you would have Druski would be on top, someone would be on the bottom. And you got people who are performing, making themselves like a fucking ass and doing crazy shit. Like the craziest shit was the one where Druski was telling him to go in the bathroom real quick, do in the bathroom. He had the phone up and there was shit and piss in the toilet. He said, "What the fuck is that?" And the dude looked like, yeah. So these people are humiliating themselves for views and attention. Not only just that, how are you getting 10 million views on concepts that were already made before you were even born, before I was even born? How are you getting 10 million views and why? See, so now the how is already answered. The how comes from how do you get into position to be on a stage? I mean, do you not see the stage? Do you not see the leverage? They're going on a higher vibration, a higher layer, and yet these people are still in the crowd looking for what's next, what's going to happen. Dopamine is already fried, it's shot. These people are so blind to what's happening neurologically, they can't even process what never happened. These people also say to themselves, well, shit, if I'm in the crowd, if the camera pans on me, then I can say, hey, I was in the crowd when Druski was doing this could have been love reunion. So I guess I'm somebody. Yeah, I was on the show. Look at me. Look at me. I did it. Yeah, I'm famous. That's how people think. Humans only think virality matters only because people talk about who was on what, who said what, who did this, how did you look when you did that. People will do anything just to be seen, but they can't see themselves when the cameras aren't even on them. So if you can't even see yourself when the cameras aren't on, then what are you looking for when you do cut the camera on, when you do hit record, when you do go live? What are you feeding for? What is your biggest desire at that point? So that how becomes who do you got to talk to? Who puts you into position? Now, once that happens, it's the why. Why is this getting 10 million views plus more? Why? Why is that? Because you get this many people to watch one video. Now, anticipation, build up, anxiety. I want more. What's going to happen? Oh my gosh, what are you going to put on next? So now you got people talking, people focusing on this shit because wait a minute. If you end this one, we need to get another one. We need to get a season two, season three. So now you got a 6'8" woman or whatever called Matumbo or some shit on here. And I'm just thinking like, 'cause I seen her on, cause I keep up with the streaming shit and whatnot, but I seen her on McQueen streams, and if you understand the old like Ty the Guy, Black Charcoal, DDG, and all these different people, Dub, when they were in California and shit like that, McQueen and Flight Reacts too, McQueen was a part of that, like just in that little crew and whatnot. So when I'm seeing her and there could have been love too, this little portion, I'm just like, oh, so now it's the viewer, the consumer is telling the team that runs Drewski, that handles Drewski's life. They're telling the team who they want, what influencer. So now people are gravitating towards the influencer space and they're doing stupid shit. They're looking stupid. They're sounding stupid and they're doing dumb shit just to get an opportunity to be on camera, to be where Drewski is, to be where the celebrities are, so that when many people watch, they'll say, I did it. I finally became something and I got paid. Oh, you can't tell me shit. So now all we're doing is lying to the ego and boosting it up so that it can be stuck in what it's bound with. Memories of chasing what? The nature. And I'm not going to show the whole thing, but as you can see, 2 days ago, and there's over 12K, 13K comments, 3 million views over that, about to be four. So as we can see, I mean, now their team is just like, you know what? We're gonna keep doing this shit. And they're gonna prolong it because why not? And as you can see, like for one, have you ever seen these people? And some of y'all probably have because I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all be on the internet all day, every day, which is fine, that's cool. But have y'all seen a lot of these people just on your For You page or your algorithm? Ask yourself why. Ask yourself why and why are they put into position to getting viral or to getting clout? They're all Freemasons.
Nah, hey, hold on. Hey,
Like people, and then for one, too, no, let me not skip that thought. People come into the crowd looking like they're supposed to be the best, looking like they're up to par with higher standards or whatever. But all you're doing is just trafficking yourself to a system that wants to ape you and take advantage of you and give you more damnation in the form of a dollar bill. And then the humiliation part on our people, when people get into the industry, they have their hair black. When it goes blonde, that's how you know MK Ultra is in control. It's in effect, as you can see. Once you get that blonde going, you're not a part of their system. They handle your life. They give you what you want. Throw up your allegiance. That's all it is. Throw up your allegiance. Throw up what you're blind to. Let's go to our bookmarks real quick. So I'm gonna make this video too long. I got other gematrias I want to tackle and knock down and shit. They the same being, the same consciousness. Ain't that some shit?
if your thug was in a mask tonight, Dazo was in a mask.
What's up with the mask shit?
It be trend shit, trend shit. You know how that shit be,
Nigga,
trend
from
shit.
where though? How's that trending? I've never seen none of them niggas in the hood wear that shit.
Hey, certain shit in Illuminati, people don't be explaining that much. You know what I mean?
What?
I don't be doing. I don't know.
And not just that, you can tell they're a part of it because men in black. But yet, this symbolism right here with the white, showing you they still got a noose around their neck. Still got a noose around their neck, and they are part of the system. And they're just basically showing you, telling you, you know all about this shit. You know what's going on. Now, I think it's too. They gotta have a quick thinking. It's like at first you're learning, like you're a part of it. You went through all the initiation levels, so you understand what's going on. But the moment that she's telling you deeper levels to higher consciousness and Luciferianism, now you gotta sit up there and think, oh shit, let me not have the chat think that I know what's going on. So let me act just like this.
A fucking mask? A fucking mask?
I don't know.
What?
I don't be doing.
What?
I don't be doing. I don't know.
And once you understand contradictions, human behavior, you're capping. Even just you making that face. Y'all are making faces. You're making a face because you know the answer and you know what's going on because you can't hide your thoughts or your facial expressions. Like when you're chosen to be in positions, when you're chosen to think differently than the average person, you got to realize that there are many of us who are not human. We understand human beings who are trying to be wise. We transcend wisdom. So we understand that for one, when you say some shit that's outlandish, you start making a face. So if somebody was to tell me, let's say if I was 19 years old and somebody told me, bro, yeah, you got these rich people who go into parties, they're wearing suits and ties, they wear a mask and all that because they don't want anybody to capture an image of them committing crimes in front of the entourage or in front of the party guests who are just wanting to have a great time with children being trafficked and blood being on the table, bodies being on the table, music, drugs. You got sex slaves, strippers, you got all this stuff going on. So why would they want to have evidence placed onto them if a case was to be built up?
Much. You know what I mean?
And I'll just be like, if I heard that, I'll be like, And then now, if you're a conscious being at my age, looking at my 19-year-old self, you'll look at me like, damn, so you really don't know. But as you develop, as you get older, more wise, more aware, you say that same exact shit to me as I'm experiencing life. I'm learning more and more and more. I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna give you a facial reaction. I'm not gonna be surprised because nothing is surprising anymore. Our own government admitted to the things that we've been saying, and people said, I don't care. I want to see what Juice is going to post next. I want to see what P. Diddy's going to post next. I want to see what 50 Cent's going to talk about. I want to see what rapper, what artist is going to drop this new song and whatever. I want to see what author is going to make this book. I want to see what March Madness will deliver. I want to see what the NBA has going on. I want to see what the WNBA, MLB. I want to see what all these different shits, the new games, Crimson Desert. I want to see what social media has going on. So you have all these things that you want to see going on. You don't have time to pay attention to the occult. That's why hidden societies with powerful people study bodies of science. That's why it's occultic and esoteric information. The exoteric is information outside of you. So they're giving you info outside of you, but the esoteric part is literally inner awareness towards consciousness spiritually.
I don't be doing. I don't know.
A fucking mask?
I don't know.
But you know why. Eyes wide shut. And then don't forget too these allegations, but they weren't allegations. So Druski had just as the baby oil Diddy party allegations. Just allegations of fabricated lie in 2018. I was broke without any connections to the entertainment industry. I was in a public figure in 2018. I was broke living with my mom. So understand as well. We got to contradict everything, question everything. So when Druski, I remember this shit vividly too when it happened. Because a YouTube channel named Morbid Melon, they had a video of this situation, but they took it down. But I wonder who made them take it down if it wasn't YouTube. So this allegation's a fabricated lie. And the thing is, though, why did you, when it happened, Drewski immediately typed this, or somebody gave this to Drewski to just send out. But why were you on top of this instantly? But when it comes to other causes, like, why don't people like this use their platform to talk about human trafficking? Like, my thing is, if I ever get 10 million, 8.8 million, 5.9 million views on a video talking about human trafficking and what's really going on in our system. Imagine how people's minds will shift. Imagine how much better that would be for us. But you're using your platform to let people know you, because it's not really you degrading our people, but it really is you. But you're letting our people degrade themselves. And then you're sitting back drinking liquor, wine, beer, whatever, and you're watching the shit show happen because you're getting paid. You don't give a fuck. It's like a Satanist sitting back telling the people, hey, you can do this, you can do that. I ain't gonna tell you what you can't do, but you can't do this. But when you do it, I'm gonna make you feel bad about it. I'm gonna make you look stupid because you have no sense. And they're laughing at you. These people are laughing at you and mocking you because you're doing these things or you're doing something because you're gaining something in return. But what do you lose in that process? I was broke living with my mom. And the thing is, you can say that, but your mom still trafficked you into being what you are today without any connections to the entertainment industry at the time of this allegation. But you had ties to the entertainment industry before it even happened. You're only saying that because you knew it happened and you knew that this day would happen or come. That's why you were prepared to send this out immediately. So I'm on to you. So the inclusion of my name is truly outlandish. Outlandish. My heart breaks for actual victims of abuse. But when people say this line right here, my heart breaks for actual victims of abuse. If your heart breaks, why don't you talk about it? Why don't you talk about mental health? Why don't you talk about how my people get abused by their mothers, their fathers, uncles, aunts, cousins, strangers, a family friend, whatever else? Why don't you use your platform, use your voice to get that message out? But then if you do, will the views be the same? Will the money still be coming in? Will the lifestyle, the followers that you have, will that still be stamped in what people can view? No, it wouldn't. All that will just detour and it will just go down a steep hill and then you start losing yourself. But I'm fully confident that the evidence will expose this falsehood and the individuals who are maliciously trying to gain a legal system to peddle false narratives. Sick, bro. I wasn't public. Yeah, so that's sick. And then this right here. Nobody tears anybody down when they make it. It's just you sold your morals to make it. It's one thing to, and here's the thing, if you want to watch somebody's growth and see them make it in life, study their consistency. Because if they're telling you and speaking against Luciferianism, speaking against selling their morals, and it actually works and they still get what they want without going into the occult, that's how you know authenticity works. Yeah, it'll take a long ass time, but I'd rather take a long time being me than instantly being a me that I never was. Mm.
And they can't wait for you to. They can't wait to say you whack.
Yeah,
Like you get to a certain point where you're so successful,
yeah,
and you probably doing the same things you've been doing,
yeah,
just
man.
as funny as
and you
always
see it
been.
happening right now. You see it, and you know who we talking about. You get to that certain point.
It's not true. Nobody wants to bring you down because we don't even care. And then, of course, another grown woman who groomed her. So it's nothing but a sex party, nothing but orgy, nothing but trafficking adults as well. I mean, all these people were trafficked at some point in their life and they were put through satanic ritual abuse. So when you see them connecting together, I mean, that's the vision. They're the envisioning of what Luciferians plant into society because they're reflecting what human beings do every single day. So when human beings see themselves through their idol worship, they now develop a parasocial bond towards people that aren't even people, but holographic reflections of light codes. During that time, a lot of people didn't respect me. One shift in my career I was referred to as Drake having me in his Laugh Now, Cry Later music video. Because Laugh Now, because I'm shitting on you. I got what I want, all the cars, all this and that. I'm doing my thing. But you're still crying later because you did it for what? You did it for who? And what did you gain in the process? A lot of people didn't respect me. And once Drake took a chance on me, a lot more brands like Nike and Google followed suit. Yeah, they're gonna follow the breadwinner. They're gonna follow the Luciferian. That's how you know you can't take people seriously, but listen to comedians because in their jokes, they're telling the truth.
It's not about money. All this stuff is, it's just a blessing to be doing this stuff, right?
And they know each other. That's why they're both laughing because you're full of shit. You know the money look good. For example, you gonna say it. She gonna say it.
The money good.
The money good as fuck. Why would I not say it's about the money? That's why they laughing like that because the money good. Why would they stop? They're blind. Money is their God, and you people look up to this shit. That's why you will always come back to their damnation. So it's like you're not even coming back to your life. You're coming back to somebody else's. So what will your spirit memorize? This one as well. She tells on herself. Every time she snitches on herself and people still follow her. That's how I know a lot of y'all are just a part of the game. You work for the system.
Inspired by Puff and Suge Knight.
You're inspired by Puff and Suge Knight. After knowing what they did and what they still do, you are inspired by them. Bounty hunters, apists, sexual abusers, dictators, basically.
But hey man,
how much
it is? We
how much
giving
do they get they publishing?
We gonna give them what the fuck they deserve, and we gonna take what the fuck they gonna give us.
No, so how much is the
Whatever it may
publishing
be.
on?
Not just that. Pause that too.
Fuck they gonna give us. We gonna take what the fuck they gonna give us.
That sounded just like how Diddy groomed her. Because remember when Druski went into Diddy's house and he was drinking one of Diddy's drinks you don't believe me, look on the internet for it. And then Diddy walked into the door and was just staring and then the camera was looking at Diddy and she was just looking like this. How did Druski get into Diddy's house and how they make a video over a drink? So If Diddy is putting people into positions to be famous, to be glorified, to be billionaires, trillionaires, whatever, to meet all these people and to fight any allegation, any assumption, and still thrive, what do you got to do? Because it's not just yeah, man, I'm not willing to do that, but I'm willing to take the money. Excuse me? No, you got to come up off of something. You got to give us something. And that means bending over, sacrificing, whatever. And there are many people, many women who are playing as men who don't mind that shit. So you will call it gay, but to them, they're just being straight with themselves. So who's at fault and who's in the wrong? And what does this even mean? Perversion. So by her saying we're gonna take whatever the fuck they give us, that means for Druski to be on the couch with $1 million worth of game, even though this is just basically 10 cents a game because they're not giving $1 million worth of fucking game. But anyways, for Druski to even be on these platforms, for Druski to be on talk shows and all that, what did he put her through?
No, so how much
Whatever
the
it
publishing
may
you
be.
on?
You ever been in one?
And is it rape if people who are famous like it? Like, if they like this shit and they're drugged up, do they care? They just care the evidence gets out because all of them are blackmail. So blackmail meaning that they have done so many things that are recorded. Those recordings are locked up somewhere. That's why they remain humble. That's why they remain the way that they are because somebody has some dirt on them. And if they say the wrong shit, it's over with.
Diddy parties?
Yeah, I've been in attendance. I've been
Why? Now watch her reaction and watch how her emotions flare up. You know you did something and you told on yourself.
not. Hey, what the fuck you smirking for?
Why are you worried about her smirking? Why are you worried about this woman smirking? Because they already know. They just want to see what you're gonna say.
I've been in attendance.
Why are you raising your voice? Why is your voice getting higher? Why are you moving your shoulders like that? Why are you getting your hands all riled up? That's how you know you did something that you're guilty of and you can't hide from it.
We just asking
That's
regular
all I said.
questions.
That's all I said. I said I've been in attendance. I have been in attendance.
We
You're talking very fast. You're talking very well, telling. And if we go to this gematria, if we go to this gematria, Black Lives, Saturnian Curse, Seven is Manifestations, Illuminati, Social Identities, Flip the Script, Fooling Around, Changing Faces, the Deceivers are being deceived, Travels through Time, Asexual Reproduction, Possessed by Two Inverted Triangles, Saving from Being Confused, Transgender Movies. So they're making movies and they're recording it just to be famous. I Am Transformed, Master Baphomet, Demon Female Host. All they do is lie, daughters of men, open-mindedness, demonic entity. That's a good girl. I'm not a wise man, vampire lust, no identities, enlightened one, secret tunnel, Muppet show, Jezebel spirits. Alrighty, the program of Freemasons. She really doesn't know. And then the Jesuits pandemic, but you were disguised, exposing them deceivers, were your dignity, Hollywood predators, enslaved the enslavers, shapeshifting reptilian, master storyteller. You must show them, kill them with kindness, change masculine to feminine. There is much confusion. Skull and Bone Society. Oh, we're not done. Drewski, Odell, and Diddy. They went too far. Just keeping it real. Human cloning is real. Super predators. Toxic femininity. Genetic mutations. True woman show. My transgender life. Transgender Lilith. Paid music producer. Corporate lawyer. Trans groomer agenda. I mean, let's just proceed.
never been. We just asking.
We just
Yeah,
asking.
yeah. As soon as you asked, he said,
You had fun?
I ain't seen that.
"Yeah, you did." Huh?
I ain't seen that.
Yeah, I had fun. Yeah, I mean, it was a party. I wasn't at one of them parties.
Well, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Why would you say one of them parties? What do you mean one of them parties? How do you know about one of them parties if you ain't been?
He said, what party? Say that about the party.
And if you ain't been, why are you talking about one of them parties? What do you mean one of them parties are? What is one of them parties? Laughing nervously, laughing to get the heat off her because she knows.
I have been in attendance at a puff party. You know what I'm saying? I've been in attendance. Yeah, yeah.
What's going on with the tone of her voice? Why is she, yeah, 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 that bit. I wanted to party. So why are you changing your octaves? Why are you changing your vocal cords? What are you doing that for?
Yeah. But I ain't, yeah, nah, I don't know which party. The party I went to, it was girls turn up, you know what I'm saying? The
Were they girls?
regular, you know what I mean? Other celebrities and shit, yeah.
Other celebrities and shit. Well, we all know what that means, right? I mean, if there is a party with celebrities in attendance, I mean, let's just keep it a stack. That can only mean this is happening, but you know, nobody would believe us.
Lying when they say, I ain't been to one of them parties. Wait, what party?
Oh, that's crazy. Did you know, see,
Yeah, fake ass laugh and shit. All right, and then we got defendant Druski then caught himself from sliding over plaintiff's oil body and off the bed. He then began plaintiff vaginally, and then was aping plaintiff. Defendant Diddy sat in a chair near the bed because she's a cuck. And this sounds just exactly how what Diddy would do. And began masturbating while recording plaintiffs by defendant Drewski. Another party's phone fell on the bed near plaintiff. Plaintiff then attempted to grab the phone, but it slipped out of her hands onto the floor due to the oil lubricant that had been doused all over her person by defendants Diddy and Drewski. They began laughing at plaintiff's attempt to grab the phone. Throughout this, defendant Diddy made constant belittling remarks to plaintiff, including that he owned her now. False sense of dominance, power trips. And this is what happens to women. So this is why too, or women. This is what happens when a lot of men and women want to get closer to favorite celebrity. They don't really know that what you're doing is getting traffic through the industry. And because many people don't realize that, they end up being blind to the occult. And as you can see, female skull, female skull from two different skull and bones analysis. Oh, I got the video. Thank you. I'm so glad I favorited that. Because I like listening to, I'm gonna show y'all. I'm trying to hear this beat.
Yo, now you gonna stone me from the top.
All right, I gotta stop before I get copyrighted. But yeah, this is so I love that beat. All right, anyways, and I already showed y'all this too a year ago, but this still pertains to what little boys and little girls have to go through. And look at the moms or the dads who think this shit is okay.
Dr. Olson had a decision.
You are in the perfect place to start on blockers.
And she promises to begin giving her estrogen, female hormones, in 2 years.
Around 13. That's what I think.
You're giving. Key word, you're giving.
Female hormones in 2 years.
Around 13. You are in the perfect place to start on blockers.
And she
To
promises
start on blockers.
to begin giving her estrogen.
Giving her estrogen. You're giving her what her body was supposed to produce by itself. So if her body's not producing that by itself, what are you injecting into her bloodstream? But I'm crazy when I call this shit out. But when other people do it, oh, it's all good. But I guess it's the messenger that's delivering the message. Got it.
Female hormones in 2 years.
Around 13.
Around 13, she can't even consent to these practices by Satanism. And you got people like this who are just, I mean, the money good. I should tell her don't go through with this, but what am I to say? Who am I to judge? Who am I to get her away from what she wants to do for her child? This shit got to
I
stop.
think. Yes, you're not going to develop breast buds on the blockers, but you're not going to wait until 16 to start. You know that, okay?
Josie received the blockers as an implant in her arm.
It's okay if you cry.
So with all the bravery she could muster,
You're gonna feel a little bit of a
Josie held on tight as another chapter opened in this young girl's life.
A lot of times it strikes me that Had this happened just 20 years ago,
Thank you.
I wouldn't have been able to give her blockers, and she would have had to go through male puberty. That terrifies me.
It's all done.
Did you just say
Just 20 years ago,
Thank you.
I wouldn't have been able to give her blockers, and she would have had to go through male puberty. That terrifies me.
It's all
she would have had to go through male puberty? Is it a crime to be a male? Is it a crime to be a biological male? I might as well end this video now because as I just dissected this video further along by listening attentively, she just said, and I kid you not.
Had this happened just 20 years ago,
Thank you.
I wouldn't have been able to give her blockers, and she would have had to go through male puberty. That terrifies me.
Going through male puberty terrifies you? So you let your little son turn into a woman to mirror what you're traumatized by.
All
Man,
done. Do you want a hug?
I don't know that she would have survived male puberty.
you don't know she would survive male puberty, but you never. And this is how majority of moms think. Just because you're a mom and a dad, it does not make you a parent. Excuse me, it does not make you a parent. Because apparently a lot of y'all suck at parenting. Who is Druki? Druki. I just can't talk today. Who is Druski as a comedian? 241-1446-482-241. And if you're new here, you know, a lot of times our gematria is really self-explanatory, so we don't have to go in depth with everything, but yeah, we don't have to go in depth with everything, but you'll get it. Black Lodge Saturnian curse, and the curse is it's not a specific curse that you say in tongues or symbolism and whatnot, but symbolically, the curse of the Black Lodge through Saturnalian worship is you're cursing yourself by fuck. Basically, by keeping yourself bound to the simulation. I was looking for the, oh shit, hold on. Yes. Yes. You keep yourself bound. Fucking love you, mind. You keep yourself bound by being distracted with this. For example, biological men and women, excuse me, we exist here. We exist here because we're homegrown. We're not lab grown. Lab grown experiments is which is what scientists would call inverted beings. I'm not calling you that. Now, you got to take that up with the doctors, the scientists, neuroscientists, because they turned men into women, women into men for self-pleasure and just for experimentation, just to see if this process, this prophecy will be fulfilled. And it did, obviously, because once you get away from this curse, you now go right back to existence because the curse is do all that you can, sell your morals, so still put in that work, but do all that you can so you can receive all of this. But this weighs you down into the simulation because what are you doing it for? You're not doing it for you anymore, but you're doing it because you can gain something from it. Feminist manifestation. And most women will manifest having attention, approval, because a lot of times too, many of the women who get turned out into a man, they don't like their looks and they'll be classified as a stud and all that. So just the behaviors of people and the judgment of others will make the person feel bad. So this manifestation could be like, I used to get picked on. I used to get bullied for looking like this, being like that. So I want to be so famous to where nobody can tell me that I'm fat. Nobody can tell me I'm not funny. Nobody can tell me I'm not going to be famous. Nobody can tell me I won't be a millionaire, this and that. I want this and that. So now, hey, we hear you. We see and hear what you want. Now all of a sudden the men in black come and approach you. Where did y'all come from? Where did y'all come from? And how did y'all hear me talking out loud? How is that possible? How did y'all hear me? And then how did y'all appear? Dissociative identity. meaning that realistically, Druski is not Druski. And she knows that that's not her identity, but this is what the internet thinks. The internet is programmed to think as if these people are who they are, but through their ideology, they do not allow themselves to be what the ego is because Drewski's a character, but the being that's playing Drewski knows that her life is fucked, so you might as well just have fun. Girls just want to have fun, right? The truth is spreading, right or wrong. I know many of you waited for this type of video, but let's keep on going. What is flip the script? Flip the script means that stop giving the attention to belittling our people. Stop watching our people fight each other. Stop watching women, grown men who look like women punch on each other for views. Like, stop going on Zeus Network and watching people beat up on each other. Stop watching reality TV. That shit's not reality. Stop watching these shows that tell you how to be a mob boss or how to be a woman boss and just stop trying to be like BMF. Stop trying to play the act and just be yourself. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's very narcissistic. And I mean, that's just plain and simple. Excuse me. Just look at her videos, look at her resume. I mean, the narcissistic. And if you watch the could have been, or even just the auditions or the could have been house and whatnot, her narcissism shows all throughout. Even when she just talks on different interviews, people who are famous project their narcissism to a higher degree because in Freemasonry, all of it requires you to give your ego away to somebody who's in a higher position, fooling around, changing faces, and fooling around basically meaning like, for example, with her getting caught with Diddy and Odell and whatnot, changing faces, it's like different positions, different situations that happen, like the phone dropping. I mean, in the document, did the wording not say that they were laughing and whatever else, making fun of the woman dropping her phone because of the oil and the lubricant? The deceivers are being deceived. So human beings are being deceived by deceivers that are deceiving themselves by other deceivers. So everyone's being deceived. That's why we got to keep spreading the truth. But what is that? What is this in a fictional world? Stop paying to be deceived. It's just that simple. Stop paying for engagement to deceive people to make them think that you're living this lifestyle that you know you were never living in. Epstein, beginning and ending. Now we got Palm Beach Pete. Where the fuck did you come from? That's why when you understand that these are meat suits, body doubles. Epstein is the character. Epstein is the mask, not the human. So now you got Palm Beach Pete, who keeps on going on Twitter, who keeps on going on TikTok or whatever else, saying, I am not Epstein and this and that. I enjoy tennis. Why are you saying that? This is how you know the system is just fucking the mind of a human. Travels through time. And by doing that, you stay up all night till like 12, 1, 2, because you may have been sleeping all day. Because when you get money, you can sleep whenever you want. But when you get up, many people are asleep at their regular time because they have work. Bosses don't work. The work works for us. So because you're up, and I do this too, like there'll be times I'll be up at 12, 1, 2 a.m. and I'll look at different perspectives. I look at different videos. I study them. Then I make a reaction to it. That's how you travel through time. Now, these beings, they're literally traveling through time, remote viewing, astral projection, but it's handled. So it's like fabricated, it's really distorted. How we do it, it's more freeing. We're not limited by their limitation. They can travel through this limitation, they can see it, but it's not their owning because somebody owns them. Reptilians are inferior. They're weak as fuck. And because they're weak, many people get weakened by how they look. And a lot of times they look just like a human. They look just like a celebrity. They look just like a politician, musician, entertainer, influencer. They look like the people that you think are real. And yet nothing is real. So all humans are born to be weak. So whose mind is going to become superior daily? Asexual reproduction. Where the hell is my because I want to figure out why did I put that. So I made this Gematria sheet so long ago. Okay. In motor reproduction, where offspring are produced from a single parent without the fusion of gametes or gametes, resulting in genetically identical clones. Damn. Yeah, so basically clones. From what I'm reading, asexual reproduction produces offspring that are genetically identical to the parent because the offspring are all clones of the original parent. And so what is asexual reproduction? Generates offspring that are genetically identical to parents contribute. Yeah, so just like her mom. So with the fusion of different just elements, different chemicals, that's why in the reproduction process, her single parent turned her inside out. Literally flipped the script on her. Weak, delusional, and demented with all that she does and the way she makes people feel, the way she brings people down just to build herself up. That's why her mind is deranged, it's demented, basically. And she's delusional because she thinks that the possession that Saturn gives off is real. She thinks that it matters, and that's what gives her the rise to fame. To invert a triangle. So if you see a triangle up and a triangle down, all you see is just a man and a woman coming together. But in between is the infusion of more and more toxins, more and more poison, more and more injections that anchor the mind into being unconscious or to be asleep forever, humiliated and resentful. So, and with humiliation, by her going through that claim, with her aping the plaintiff and whatnot, but resenting that, knowing that it was going to come out, that's why saved me from being confused. But once you go too far in those levels, like once you go past the Aaron Apprentice level and you keep going up and up, you can't be saved from your confusion. So you will be humiliated and you will resent that humiliation, but you won't even care if you're famous. You won't even care if they're giving you a life that you supposedly got overnight. The transgender movies. And the thing is, every time you see her, it becomes a movie. You end up watching it. You may even rewatch that shit to where now 35 minutes, an hour can be 4 hours, 5 hours. You're just laughing constantly. You're enjoying yourself because you relate to the things that reflect who you are. Saturn opposition. We are bound by time, and Saturn gatekeeps the time that we think is linear, but you can't even measure what you're frozen in. I am artificial intelligence. I am an artificial intelligence. Not even a real being, but it's just a hologram. And they know that. That's what makes this shit wicked. People know that this being is a hologram and they still get this being praised. Because when this being is in front of you, when it's showing you the life that you can have, what comes with it? The glory, this lifestyle. Who is Druski? 156-936-312-156. I am transformed. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Broken spirit. Because, I mean, once you get transformed, I'm pretty sure my spirit will break as well. And I think, wait, let me see. Morphic. Hmm. I'm about to see morphic cloning because that works specifically. So, idea that something can be copied or repeated based on its pattern or form, not just physically, but it's basically within their blueprint. So, copying the same design again and again. Okay, I like that. I'm glad I put that. So this being, so when I mentioned, damn, I just spoke into the future within the past currently. When I said, when we went to, let me retract my thoughts real quick. When we went to, shut the fuck away, this video right here, there are videos like Flavor of Love and just, I think Love Island and all that. So It's the same formula that our parents were watching and whatnot. You got Jerry Springer and all this other shit. So you got all these different concepts that are broadcasted on the television screen. Now you got it on the media. So they're just giving this being the formula of what to do and what people will like. So now that becomes a trend because people think as if, well, damn, if Druski can do this shit, then I can do it. So now you have a copied or a repeated base pattern that turns into a form of content. And people mirror that because they don't understand the Luciferianism spell that's being placed from Baphomet worship. That's why once you master this duality, you really can't be stopped unless the simulation understands videos like this and it hits the simulation. Once videos like this go into the algorithm, don't be surprised when you see Drewski's life change because there's always that one person, that one being who's watching. Once that being gets attention and starts thinking and shares it, so on and so forth, now the algorithm will say, yo, did y'all see this shit about satanic zombies? And zombies meaning for one, once you have a certain amount of money, a certain house, you got all these celebrities around you, and you're getting all these different brand deals. You're not your body. A demon female host, and she's possessed by spiritual beings, broken spirits, and they're possessing the host that is giving you the image of what these stage shows are portraying. Celebrity deaths. So, and a lot of times too, a lot of people that she has encountered, they have died. But when it comes to celebrity deaths, they don't even go anywhere because remember, they will always be cloned. Mortal sacrifice. And the thing is, there are many people like that woman, for example, who had to be sacrificed because all they do was lie. And because these beings are sacrificed, and because many people had to get killed or humiliated, like when celebrities go through humiliation rituals or when they go through death, all they're doing is just transcending what humans believe. And yet, that transcendence keeps them right back down to what they're descending into. Eater of souls. All the people that buy into her propaganda, that feed into it, that watch it immediately when it's dropping, she's consuming your consciousness, casting spells through what? Violence, the media, through social media, and people can't even see it because they're under it. Daughters of men. And by her dad being her mom, this makes sense. Disembodied soul. Let's see here. So I want to make sure I give you all. I want to make sure this is very accurate. Exactly. So the being exists, but they're not in the body, like I've been saying. So the being Ojuski exists, but the body is basically, once again, sacrifice. So the person that you see is just literally a eater, or where is it? A demon female host. That's why she's a zombie. So when you see her laughing, when you see her clapping, when you see her dancing, hanging with this, that person, whatever, if you want to be open-minded. But there are entities that have conditioned her body to think that what is happening is normal. That's why this like Drewski's been dead. Like every celebrity that you see, once they enter into that realm and they start getting on all platforms and they're just everywhere in your face, yeah, the person that you used to watch before they made that Faustian bargain, they were a living being. They were wise. But once they made that deal, they signed their life away, they were dead. They're done. That's a good girl. I'm pretty sure this is what Diddy told her, groomed her, and that's why when she was covering her tracks by laughing, raising her voice to Wallow and Gilly, saying, I ain't been to one of them parties and all that. Yeah, you're a good girl to the system. The system bitches Drewski, and she does nothing about it because there's money involved and there's people that look up to her who are inspired. They're changing lives by lying because all they do is lie. If they told the truth, the world would collapse. I'm not a wise man. And if you were wise, I mean, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. So it makes sense on why you're famous, and it makes sense on why numerology aligns with the things that you keep on doing. Vampire lust, wanting more energy, harvesting more and more consciousness, new identities. Once you get that blonde hair, once you get into these different spaces with different celebrities, oh, your identity changes. So that identity changed the moment that she was sacrificed, and then once this embodied being or entity took control, enlightened ones, once you see them throwing up their allegiance with hand symbolism, they're now with the enlightened ones. But to be enlightened is to lose enlightenment because enlightenment does not know its own enlightenment. Secret tunnels underneath their mansions, underneath Diddy's mansion, underneath cities, states, the ocean, Muppet Show. I mean, these people are controlled. And as you can see, somebody has a hand up their ass telling them what they should post, what they should say, and how they should act. I think this is infusing the transfusion. I think that's just infusing, exactly, moving blood or another fluid from one body to another. So a lot of times they'll give blood or they're moving blood or giving someone blood to help them. So a lot of times when they're trafficking the children, they'll take the blood from the child and then give it to a celebrity so that they can now lust after more and more victims in Jezebel's spirit. I mean, you all should know about Jezebel's word as well, but just a being that's lustful, a being that does not mind taking from you, regardless of how you feel. Druski Deception Revealed 245-147-0490-245. Deprogram the Freemasons. And you already, I agree with this one. You are guilty as charged. And because we've already tackled everything that we need to know about this being, so this video won't stop her from doing her crimes in plain sight. But every time you see her and you come in this video, you got two mirrors. You're like, oh shit, Freemasons are at play. Don't be distracted. Don't go blind, or you will follow the herd and you'll walk off that cliff. She really doesn't know. And the thing is, if she does not know, who's going to tell her? But now, if she does know and she's still doing these acts, ooh, that's some evil shit. And most truths are evil shit. And then the Jesuits pandemic, and the Jesuits are the funders for genetic engineering or genetic altering. That's why this deception is being revealed in numerology. Pyramid on the dollar bill. What does that even mean, though? What does that pyramid on the dollar bill mean? It means that they are your consciousness. I am. But you wear a disguise. Disembodied soul. Don't forget that. Exposing them deceivers. Simple. Where's your dignity? She lost it. Once the comments started, at a certain point as a content creator, you'll notice that you're doing this shit for years. You're not going up. You're not getting the traction. You're not getting the views. Will you buy engagement where you have to constantly waste money to pay for what you want? Will you sell your morals? Or will you just keep on grinding and wait for the opportunity to come authentically? Anointed one genetic coding. And genetic coding came from her environment, the things that she's been fed, enslaves the enslavers. So the enslavers are the humans. And if you're enslaving these humans by bringing them on your show, who's really enslaved? If you're going to somebody's show to meet an enslaved CEO, then who are you looking up to? Hollywood predators, shapeshifting reptilian, false freedom, hope, and false peace. These beings will never find hope or have peace in their life because they will always have to put in that work. Egyptian slave descendant. So even through ancient Kemet times, even through whatever time period, it's the same historical storyline that human beings still go through. They are looking for power. They're looking for being the apex predator, looking to be dominant, looking to have respect, money, all these different things, girls, attention. So what do? Master storyteller. So once she explains something, once she tells people something and starts laughing or people are buying into it, yeah, she's mastered her lies. The evidence is irrefutable. That's why I don't really have to say much. Don't let them fool you. You must show them. Oh, I'm showing them numerology. I can't deny this shit. Kill them with kindness. That's a fact. By killing them with kindness, and the same thing for her as well. By her doing that, you can't think that she's evil because she's being kind. It's sarcastic, it's funny, but you mean no harm. But internally, you know the sadistic acts that you're doing. Change masculine to feminine. And of course, her femininity is casting the masculine vessel. There is much confusion. And why is that? It's going to be Holocaust. And Holocaust meaning that she's already been sacrificed. She was already trafficked because of skull and bone societies. And the skull and bone societies are the reason why she's all on your timeline. So the moment you go on YouTube and you see a updated video, who put that there? Who owns these platforms? Who owns the algorithm? Who is in control of the algorithm? It's like what being is sitting there bringing certain videos and telling them, okay, this one will go viral, this one will not go viral, this one damn sure can't go viral. But we'll put it into the algorithm, but we just can't let that shit get these types of views. This one deserves views because they're a sellout. We know about their family, so boom. Boom. Nah, this one ain't talking about shit. We'll put it over here. This one is in between. We'll put it right here, but we won't allow that to get this type of view. That's basically what they do. Druski, Odell, and Diddy. Ascension matters. It does. When you ascend, everything I'm saying is just like you can kick back, you can smoke you one, you can drink some wine, some alcohol, you can drink some water, you can lift your window up, you can go work out, you can go for a walk, and you can listen to this shit and realize everything he is saying is not true, but it's accurate because he's providing evidence that has symbolic, synchronized imagery that many people will disregard because they don't do their fucking research. Soul transference, and that goes to the disembodied soul. So once you take the identity, once you take the ego of Drewski away, you now have another being in the body of Drewski. They went too far. Revolt versus Elohim, because fuck many of these non-angelic beings, basically, that are pretending to be the almighty creation. Murders videotape, blackmail, they have all these tapes on them, just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real, and that's why human cloning is real. It's real. And America funds Israel. But yeah, so because they have these videotapes, that's why they're not going to tell you what I'm telling you. So someone just say, bro, you're lying, you're hating, you're just doing it because you're not in her position. It's like, no, if Juicy was to tell you all her Freemasonic rituals, all that she witnessed and experienced, the kids being trafficked, the internet would go in shock. It'll go up ablaze. They'll be like, holy shit. So this shit's really going on. This shit really true. But then what happens to her? Super predators, toxic femininity. So to belittle people, to make people feel bad, watching them get punched on, watching people get sacrificed. I mean, even aping people. How is that love and femininity? Genetic mutations. My transgender life. True woman show. And if you watch her shows, paid music producer, did she not have a music producer in her shows when the actors or the people in her little reunion and all that in the house, were they not making songs or music? Transgender Lilith, screenshot message, corporate lawyer. So all that stuff happened when it came down to this situation. So you know it aligns but well, yeah, bisexual rapist. It's just basically, but yeah, because I mean, she's taking it up the ass, but then she's giving it to someone. It's just like, yeah, the Uish blood sacrifice doesn't matter how you paint it. We are the Jews, but Europeans want to call them that because they're mimics. So this blood sacrifice came from what? Getting her to where she is now. Who throws a sue? Could have been some hush money because if they were going to sue, I mean, this story would have been out already. But when you pay somebody a hefty, little check, they'll keep quiet. Delusional grifter, taking from you, scamming, trans groomer agenda, satanic overlords, music industry, and transsexualism. I mean, all these are just self-explanatory. We don't got to go deep into that because my voice box is getting tired. But as we can see, when you see that on the Baphomet, spirit, water, fire, earth, air, all these elements exist outside of you and within you. And if this inversion is controlling these, and you are a part of these synthetic inversions of identities or titles, then what have you lost? And this will always be a part of you. And if you let this become lost, will you find your way? Do not allow the fool, do not allow the eye to fool the mind. The ones with knowledge are feared, the ones without knowledge control. Seek knowledge. I would even say that. Remember yourself, not attention. It will last longer. When you remember yourself, your spirit being the all-knowing, you don't care for attention. That's why your consciousness will last longer because you can't be controlled. Not only just that, you don't have to fear anybody who has this knowledge because all the knowledge that we know is literally just an inversion of consciousness. I appreciate you all for watching this video. I'm so glad we tackled this and we still got more work to do, but I love you all. I appreciate you. And thank you for being here for me with this video. And thank you all for being open-minded. I love you all. I'm gone.